Hey, it's Gabe with API Nation. Today I'm going to show you how you can sync kvCORE with dotloop. That way all those clients you have in dotloop, the people you've done business with in the past, those are free leads you may have forgotten about. Maybe you're not following up with them. Let's follow up with them. Let's make deals out of them. So let's sync those people from dotloop, those past clients, into kvCORE. You can put them in kvCORE's awesome marketing machine, start following up and nurturing those leads again to create additional deals. Let me show you how. First thing you're going to do is hop into apination.com. There you're going to see a button that says Start Syncing. Click that big button. It's going to take you to all the apps you can sync and automate at API Nation. So I'm going to scroll down. You'll see marketing apps, real estate apps, productivity apps. I'm going to get down here to kvCORE and click on that. And you can see there's a bunch of syncs available to automate with kvCORE. So if you're using any of these other apps, connect those to kvCORE also. Google Contacts, iPhone Contacts, Dub, Constant Contact. Awesome opportunities to save some time. So we're going to do dotloop today. I'm going to click on dotloop. And you can see there's two options: dotloop contacts from the address book, dotloop contacts in the loops. Totally up to you which one you want to do. They're pretty similar. Dotloop keeps contacts generally in the address book. So you'll get all your contacts if you connect that one. If you want information about the transaction they were attached to, about the loop they were attached to, use this contacts in loops option. In general, most people, if you're just following up with people, just do this address book. The loops sync out. Works a lot better with like spreadsheets. Send all your dotloop people to a spreadsheet with the loop information, and then you can run reports about the transactions and stuff. But we're not trying to run reports. We're just trying to get contacts into kvCORE so that we can follow up on them. First thing we're going to do is sign into your API Nation account. If you don't have one, click right here. You can create one. I'm going to sign in with Google. I'll just hit the big Google button and choose my Google account. Next, we're going to connect both apps. So I'm just going to hit this big connect button. It's going to take me to a website where I can sign into dotloop and then also verify the connection. So it looks like I'm already signed in, so I just have to approve the connection. Similar thing with kvCORE. Hit the big orange connect button, sign into kvCORE, and it will probably ask you to authorize the connection there also. There it is. Let's authorize it. All right, now we're going to create the sync. So it's again going to ask you, do you want to sync dotloop persons? So that's just the contact from the address book. Or do you want to sync dotloop participant? That's the contact from the loops. We're going to stick with persons. Sync all existing contacts in my dotloop account. That's exactly what we want, because we want all those contacts that are in dotloop just sitting there to get pushed into kvCORE so I can start following up with them again. There's this option, do not overwrite information in kvCORE fields. Totally up to you. You can have dotloop push that information into kvCORE if you think it's the most accurate. If you happen to have them in kvCORE, maybe you're just thinking, maybe I forgot some people. Maybe I forgot about some people in dotloop, but 80% of the people are already in kvCORE. Check that box, and then dotloop will only bring over new people and new information that aren't currently in kvCORE. So actually, that's probably what I would suggest for this use. Hit subscribe. It's going to create your sync. There it is. Here's the sync. Just a couple other things to look at. For one, you can filter exactly who's coming over based on stuff from dotloop. So for example, you can say only send over people from a certain zip code, or only send over people from a certain state, or only send over people with a certain role. So I could do that. I could say send only people whose role is, I think they're buyer or seller. I would just leave this empty, clear out the filter, just get everybody into kvCORE. That way I can kind of sort them out in there. Come down here to mapping. You can see first name is going to first name, last name is going to last name. All of this looks good. The address is coming over. Keep in mind the address here may not be accurate because you might have put in the address from the transaction, and if they were selling, they now have a new address. They've moved out of that residence. Come down here to source. Maybe I want to put dotloop as the source just so I know. And then for the tags, maybe I want to tag it as dotloop also. Another thing I could do is in the notes, I'm going to go here to note, and I'm going to say role. So I just type the word role, put a little colon, and then I'm going to pop in that role information. That way, I'll have that information in kvCORE in like a nice note area in the description area. So then I can decide what to do with it in there. You could also put the role in the tags if you wanted. That way you can see it from the main kvCORE screen without having to click in. So that could be an option as well, but you're probably going to want to get that role information into either notes or tags so that you can best figure out how to follow up. You're going to be tempted to put it in that role information into lead type, but because the words they use for role in dotloop, you know, buying agent, selling agent, lawyer, all those different roles, don't match up with the words they use in kvCORE for lead type. If you do that, it's just going to create a problem. So I would put it in notes or tags. This looks good. I'm going to go ahead and activate this sync. Perfect. The sync is now up and running. Now all those contacts I have in dotloop are getting pushed into kvCORE. They're getting tagged with that dotloop tag I put on there. And I can go through, put them on campaigns to nurture them for future deals. If you have any questions or need any assistance setting up this sync, give us a phone call, shoot us an email. We're API Nation, and we're connecting the world's applications.